I'm Kevin Watler, and this is your CMR Daily Buzz. Shortly after 4:30 Friday morning, officers responded to a report of shots fired at an address on Eastern Avenue near the intersection of Godfrey Nixon Way. When officers arrived, a component of the firearm was recovered and is being forensically processed. Anyone with information on who was in the area between 4 and 4:40 on Friday morning is asked to contact the police. You could pass anonymous tips via the confidential tip line at 949-7777. The Royal Cayman Islands Police Service Financial Crime Investigation Unit is investigating reports of persons attempting to unlawfully obtain funds by authorizing fraudulent transactions by email. This is done by impersonating or gaining access to an email account of a person with the authority to authorize such transactions. In order to avoid falling victim to these schemes, it's advised to do any confirmation of transactions by telephone, in person, or by some means other than email. The Public Transport Board has not granted approval to increase the fares charged on public buses and has confirmed that notices which have been placed on public transport were not generated or authorized by the board. Acting swiftly to quell rumors of a fare increase, the Public Transport Board has notified all omnibus drivers and operators that notices advertising unauthorized fare increases must be taken down immediately. The board further stated in its correspondence to the transport operators that non-compliance with this directive will promptly be addressed and could have adverse consequences. Approved bus fares from Georgetown to West Bay, Bordentown, or around Georgetown is $2, from Georgetown to East End or North Side is $3.50, and from Georgetown to Cayman Kai is $8. The Public Transport Board has received a request to increase the bus fares. However, given the impact that a fare increase could potentially have on the community and the cost of living, the request is being carefully considered and no decision has been made at this time. The Central Planning Authority will be appealing a recent court ruling that quashed its approval for the rebuilding of a cabana and seawall on Boggy Sand Road. It appears that a special meeting was called to decide on the matter just 1 week after the Grand Court decision was made public. In the landmark ruling on August 23rd, the Grand Court confirmed that the National Conservation Act provides the National Conservation Council with the ability to direct government bodies in circumstances where actions could have an adverse effect on protected areas or species. However, the CPA does not agree with this ruling. Utilities regulator OFREG is to create a consumer council for the Cayman Islands with the purpose of advising the regulator on issues significantly affecting consumers across the utility sectors. The council will be made up of 6 council members with 1 representative from each of the 5 districts in Grand Cayman and 1 representing Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. The functions of the Consumer Council will include speaking on behalf of consumers by identifying trends in issues affecting consumers, gathering and reviewing statistical information, and reporting on these trends to OFREG CEO Mr. Peter Goth. Additionally, the Council will make proposals and provide advice to OFREG, assisting the regulator to effectively fulfilling its statutory duty to protect consumers in the utility sectors. The Council will also be empowered to assist consumers with progressing complaints filed with OFREG. Republic Bank has announced that Cayman National Bank will acquire, by way of a merger, the banking operations of Republic Bank subject to all regulatory approvals. The securities operation of Republic Bank will also be merged into the operations of Cayman National Securities, with Cayman National Bank and Cayman National Securities the remaining entities following the mergers. They are all indirectly owned by Republic Financial Holdings, and Republic Bank said the merger will rationalize operations in the Cayman Islands and create efficiencies with no loss of service to clients or displacement of staff. All Caymanians at Republic Bank will continue to be employed within the Cayman National Group following completion of the mergers. The Honourable Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Transport, was on hand to oversee the donation of thousands of lateral flow test kits to the Department of Children and Family Services. The donation saw just over 90,000 testing kits transferred from the Ministry and the Department of Tourism stock to DCFS. The test will ensure residential customers and DCFS staff have adequate resources for bi-weekly COVID-19 testing. The Department of Education Services said it received notification that students from 3 educational institutions on Cayman Brac have tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. The affected students are from Lehman Scott High, West End Primary, and Creek and Spot Bay Primary Schools. Summer intern Kristen Martin has thanked the Department of Labor and Pensions for providing her with an environment that helped to build her self-confidence. Kristen, who has Asperger's, started working as an administrative support assistant on July 18th. She embarked on this opportunity with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, and during her time with the department, she was given the opportunity to learn new tasks and develop new skills.
Stormwatch 2022 is brought to you by Home Gas, your propane experts before, during, and after the storm.
The National Hurricane Center is tracking Hurricane Danielle, which is the first hurricane for the season. It's located about 900 miles west of the Azores. Hurricane Danielle does not pose a threat to any land. Another system being watched is a few hundred miles east of the Leeward Islands. Those in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Anguilla, St. Martin, Montserrat, and a few others in that area need to pay very close attention to it. It does have a high chance of turning into a depression or named tropical storm over the weekend. The third system being monitored is in the eastern tropical Atlantic around the Cabo Verde Islands. Now, this system will likely dissipate at any moment. Now, we've made it to Danielle on the list. Earl may be forming over the weekend as it approaches or passes by the Leeward Islands, but we are in September, which is when the tropics will likely get a lot busier, so be storm ready, Cayman. Now for your CMR weather update, it's brought to you by WG Charters. The sun will rise each weekend morning right around 10 after 6. There's a 50-50 chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms over the weekend. Hot days and warm nights for your temperatures. High 80s for the high temperature, but the humidity will make it feel hotter than that. It's going to feel right around 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the middle of the day. Looking forward, rain chances do go down for the beginning of the week, but it's indeed summertime, so those hot days, warm nights, and scattered showers are very typical for this time of year. CMR weather updates are brought to you by WG Charters. They offer private boat trips for a great price, so we encourage you to support them. Now for some regional and international news. A 34-year-old Jamaican woman living in New York is facing federal charges for a catfishing scheme in which she used multiple online identities to target rich, prominent men for extortion. Sequoia Blackwood is charged with cyber stalking, extortion, and interstate communications with the intent to extort. According to an indictment, Blackwood, who also goes by Koya Blackwood Fuse and Layla Cohen, among other aliases, began the alleged scheme in March of this year. She allegedly targeted an unnamed CEO of a publicly traded company, identified in documents only as Victim 1. Blackwood reportedly used online communications to elicit compromising materials from the victim and then attempted to blackmail him over multiple months. The first ever Afro-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum opened on Thursday with host Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley saying the two regions have business to do and asserting that it was only political will keeping the two regions from establishing direct air links. Mottley said while the existing political cooperation between Africa and the Caribbean is essential, it is not sufficient to reverse the underdevelopment of either region. She insisted that they had not fully tapped into the existing avenues of foreign partnership, including business and tourism. Russia won't immediately resume exports of natural gas to Europe through its Nord Stream 1 pipeline, worsening a shortage that threatens to tip the continent into an energy crisis this winter. On Friday, Russian state energy giant Gazprom said it would not resume flows through its pipeline on Saturday as planned because it had detected an oil leak at a compressor station. The pipeline had been shut off since Wednesday for maintenance. It didn't give a timeline of when the exports might resume. That's it for now on the Daily Buzz. Thank you for joining me. Please stay safe and God bless.